What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my Elden Ring walkthrough. In this episode, we're going to take on one of my probably favorite areas of the game, and that is going to be the Siofra River Well Depths, and that is going to be right here. So I'm going to mark that on my map, and I guess we'll appear to the Third Church of America to make our way there. This is an area that is another underground area. And we've actually had access to this area for a while now, but I've very intentionally been avoiding it because I think it is a pretty challenging area. Oddly enough, the boss isn't so bad, but the area itself is pretty challenging, and there are some challenging enemies in there. So I've intentionally saved it for you know, relatively later on in the playthrough, even later than the other river well that we went down in the Ainsel River a few episodes ago. I do think it is more the area itself, I think, is more challenging in this area than the one before that we did, despite the fact that I think the boss is easier in this one than it is in the other one that we did. So as with the other one, this is going to be a long elevator ride down, so buckle up. But this area, man, it stunned me when I first got down here in my first playthrough. I was blown away, full scale, and it was hard to take everything in. You know, just I was very much floored by the experience. So hopefully the shock and awe of this area will impress you as much as it impressed me. But as I said, it is a challenging area. But I mean, just even coming down here on the elevator, you just get a sense of the scale. It's just enormous. And the area that we have access to now is, you know, it's a fraction of the totality of this area, because there's other spots that we're going to get to later that we don't have access to currently, but we will later based on some events that happen in the game. So what we're doing now in this Siofra River depths here is, it's going to take us a while, but just keep in mind it's not even it doesn't even represent the totality of what this area has to offer. So again, as I progress through this game, especially my first playthrough, I'm just constantly wowed by just the sheer scale and magnitude of this game, because you think you've seen, you know, a majority of what the game's world has to offer, and then you turn the next corner and then it's like you haven't even seen half of it. It's pretty ridiculous. One thing I like about this section of the river well is the fact that you can actually summon your horse down here. It is a bit more of a wide open area, whereas the first one that we did was a bit more confined. So you can summon your horse down here, which is quite nice. But yeah, this area is quite massive, and you can see there's a ton of like crafting materials and that sort of thing down here. I'm just picking up before we even go in. I'm not even getting all of it either, but that's okay. Okay, let's see. I'm just gonna go all the way around. Why not? Okay, pick this up, and then I'm gonna kind of go back around and go through the normal way. We could drop down here and kind of do the area in reverse. This is a Crimson Scarab. Just need that. I haven't even used a flask yet, so I don't need that right now. But pick this up, and we'll head back up there later. Let me get through this first spot. All right, so we'll enter in over here. As with the other underground area, you know, these enemy types that are in here, I didn't really bother with fighting very many of them, just because they are kind of annoying. They do appear in large numbers together, and you don't get very many runes for killing them. So that scarab up there and that item up there, we're going to be able to get in just a second here. Lots of smithing stones, lots of rune items. So here's where the two paths join together. We kind of took the exterior path first, but what you can do is you can get up on here, and it might even be easier to do this part on foot rather than on horseback. Let me get off my horse here. Oh, we gotta go the other way. That's right. My bad. Hold on. You gotta jump up on here. And this takes you across. It's a bit of a platforming section. Not as technical or challenging as some of the other platforming sections we've done. But gotta do some hopping here. And these guys, they can cast like a magic on you. See the bubble spell that they're doing? So I'm gonna get rid of them just so they're not gonna get in the way when I'm trying to drop down. Here is where we can drop down on that scarab we saw just a minute ago. Just going to shimmy around this side of the ledge, drop down right here at this corner. And then there's our scarab. Kind of do a plunging attack on it. Whoops, I missed the plunging. Oh no, it rolled off. Okay, I'm going to get this item first. And then if it disappears on me, I'm going to have to reload. There we go. Got it. So that gives us the Oracle Bubble spell, which is kind of that spell that they were using just then when they were summoning the bubbles. All right. Head on through here. I think there's an item in the water over here. Yeah. A couple items. Runes, smithing stones, fireflies, soap. In case you want to take a bath in that waterfall. Another golden rune. So we've got an elevator that takes us up to the next area. And we don't have the map yet, so we can't really see the geography of this place, but it is vast. Preserving boluses. I think those help cure scarlet rot, which scarlet rot's not a thing down here, so I don't know why they're giving us to them, giving these to us here, but we do have them, and there is a giant crab next to this item, so don't really need to take it out. You can kind of just get the item and bail, but I think there's an item up here too if you climb up. Go. Get the grace. So yeah, when I first got here, this just straight up blew me away. I mean, you look at this, you can see, I mean, we're deep underground, but you see these stars. You just see how vast this area is, how high it goes. As I said, we're not going to be able to explore the entirety of this place yet, because that entire section above us, we can't get to from down here. So there's going to be another spot where we can get down here later, and it'll allow us access to the upper area. All right, got the Armorer's Cookbook 6. These guys can be a problem because they shoot magic arrows at you, and the magic arrows they shoot do a ridiculous amount of damage. Okay, so we're going to turn down here first. And some of these guys may try to snipe us. And if they do, it is slightly problematic. Their arrows are like super arrows. They travel really fast. They're very hard to dodge. Even if you're going perpendicular to the angle that they're shooting them, it's still very hard to dodge their arrows. And there's a ton of these guys down here. So we're about to light the first of many of these obelisks down here. We have to light all of these because this is the trigger for the boss fight down here, is you have to light each of the obelisks, otherwise you won't be able to fight the boss. That's the first of many. Over here is where the boss fight. So there's another one of these little obelisks you can light up. So the boss fight takes place right here where we're headed. We can't trigger the boss fight yet, as I said. So we got the map. So this is the map. And so we'll be exploring kind of this entire lower level down here. This upper level we don't get to until later. And then, of course, this is the spot where I showed you the farming spot. So that's directly across from where we're at right here. Yeah, fortunately, these guys are not the archer sort. The ones who are archers, ugh, they are a problem. All right, inverted hawk heater shield and arteria leaves. Let's see here. And there's some stuff below those stairs where we picked up the map. I'm gonna grab those real quick. Let's drop down. Gold rune 6. And the hornbow. The hornbow is their magic bow that they're using. I think it requires intelligence to equip, so I don't have the stats for it, but that's the magic bow that these ancestor spirit guys are using. Yeah, that guy, he's shooting. He's not shooting the magic arrows, though. The magic arrows, the regular arrows aren't so bad. It's the ones that shoot the magic arrows that are the problem. And their melee attacks are you know, they hit pretty heavy, too. Let's see here. So right here, there's a teleporter and a somber smithing stone. This teleporter just takes you kind of later on. It just teleports you down that way. It's not really all that useful, so I'm not going to use it. So let's see. We will go this way. Down kind of to here is where I'm headed. See this big bridge. There's actually a jump point. You just drop here, and then you can launch up into the air from here and get on top. Make sure you don't run off the edge. And then, actually, I want to turn back and get a running start, like a sprinting start to make that jump. Make sure there's nothing on this side. I don't think there's anything on that side. No. What I want to do is get a sprinting start and then jump over here. And then for all of our trouble, get a stone sword key. And so that spot straight ahead, I'm going to pull out my telescope. So this is actually the spot. You can warp to this zone from the 4 belfries. So if you warp here from the 4 belfries, you're gonna land like right up there. You come down here, and then right there is a lonely Crucible Knight who wants to fight you. That Crucible Knight is very, very tough. But he's there. That's the spot where we warp from the 4 belfries. Up there, Remember, this is the spot where I showed you where the where the farming area is, and I pointed up in that episode. I said, "Up there's the boss." Well, that's where you fight the boss. So you can see how all of this sort of links together, which is pretty cool. Like you're in this major area, and you can see off into the distance, and you can see these other areas that you can go to in the game, and you see this. I mean, you can get up here on your horse and like look up there like that. That's an entire area that we're going to explore up there later that we can't get to now. And then, you know, down here is a pretty massive area that is what we're exploring now. And it's just like, oh my gosh, just look at this. This is incredible. Like it just blew my mind. Very well done. So you can jump down here, and this is the way back. Just be careful not to fall off the edge here. You can just kind of go this way, then you'll drop down here. Then you can jump over. And there's another item here. And that gets us back to where we started. So we got the dwelling arrow. I think those are the arrows that, like, the magic arrows that these guys will shoot at you. Okay. So that's that. Let's see. Where do we want to go next? I think there's another obelisk that we have to light here. There's another obelisk that we have to light here. So we'll start with that. And there's a bunch of loot all around. There's another obelisk around here. Then like around here, I think is another site of grace. So we'll make that kind of loop, I guess. And these guys that are around here, as I said, are quite tough. Especially if you have some of them that are shooting you from afar, because these guys have ridiculous sniper range. And then the ones that are on the ground, they can hit close. If you get caught in a bad situation, you can die pretty quickly. Which, again, is why one of the reasons why I saved this area for later in the game. Because as I said, you know, we were in this area of Limgrave, like at the beginning of the game. But I definitely did not want to come down here at the very beginning of the game. Yeah, there's one with he's shooting his magic arrow. If you can take cover by, you know, behind an object, that's really the best way to go about dodging those arrows. Because as I said, you can run you can sprint on your horse perpendicular to the arrow's path, and still not dodge the arrow. Fortunately, do you have iframes when you're lighting these things? The torches. Just gonna run away from that one. And, you know, there is a bunch of loot scattered throughout. Oh, this is another magic arrow guy. I got behind him, though. Yeah, see how much damage that does? I mean, utterly ridiculous. Yeah, there's an arrow guy up there. I think there's two of them shooting at me. This guy is the biggest problem because he's gonna... Ooh. I think I accidentally healed twice there. Yeah, if you're right up close to them, you can get behind them while they're trying to shoot you, or if you can take cover behind something. Whew. Those things are tough. Oh, man, the damage that those things do. And they can snipe you from, like, it feels like clear across the map, too. Like, the range they have on those arrows is pretty ridiculous as well. Okay. Got another thing to light here. Okay. So we can there's also a bunch of stuff like kind of around here. If you start this path and then you kind of go around this, it's like a waterfall. There's a bunch of loot around here. runes and whatnot. And of course, no shortage of crafting materials. Yeah, some of these land octopuses are, or octopi, are guarding runes. I'm not going to fight any of the big ones, though. Oh, snap, dude. He was... Whoa! Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. All right, whatever. That was abysmal, dude. That guy just went nuts on me the second I got anywhere near him. So as I said, the enemies down here are no joke. Let me see if I can get back to my runes. Because the problem now is a lot of those snipers that we had killed are going to be back now. And so that's where this can go south quickly, is if you do die. A lot of the enemies that you had previously gotten rid of are going to respawn and cause problems. Just, oh my goodness, what the heck is the deal with this thing? Oh my gosh. Now they're like both just completely... Whew. Spicy. This is the only loot in this spot right here. There's a bunch of poison things. There's a thing up there we're going to get later. Yeah, that one not nearly as aggressive. I don't know what the deal is with that other one. So here we can go up this wooden like scaffolding. This guy's gonna try to come down. You can punch him. So R1 is punch up. R2 is punch down. Or R2 is kick down, I should say. Come around here. So remember that item that we looked up at before? This is how you get up there to get that item. And there's also a merchant. Drop down here. So there's that item. Talk to the merchant first, because you get that item, then those big flower things down there are going to see you, and they're going to try to use like their magic on you.
A customer.
All right, so he's got some soap, nascent butterflies for crafting, stone sword keys. I want all 3 of them. Larval tear, I'm gonna pick that up. I'm gonna pick the nomadic warrior cookbook up, and this one, the 17 and the 18. So this is for crafting dappled cured meat and dappled white cured meat, soap, oil pots, all kinds of good stuff.
Goodbye.
And the 3 stone sword keys. Hefty beast bone. Gonna remount my horse and then just get out of here. So yeah, they'll do that attack on you, and it can even hit the merchant if you're not careful. So and there is lots of loot just kind of hidden behind trees and hidden next to enemies and all kinds of stuff. Yep, so those snipers are back. I remember specifically killing that one, and now he's back because I died. Those things, those orbs will shoot lightning at you. And there's no way I know of to kill them. The only way to deal with them is to outrun it. So I'm going to get the Sight of Grace here. And I'm not going to rest at it because I don't want to respawn anything that might already be gone. All right, take that away. There's another thing we have to light over here. And there's another one over here. Straight across. As I said, there's a lot of stuff to account for down here, which is why I chose not to come here earlier. Definitely of the two underground areas that we've gone to fully explore, this is definitely the more challenging area by far. That guy came out of nowhere. Crab is coming out to play too. That's just okay. So from here, I don't think I can pull up my. I need to wait till I can pull up my map. There we go. So there's gonna be like some smithing stones here. I think some runes here. There's gonna be an ash of war here. And then a portal here-ish, and then a portal here-ish. And probably some pickups along the way. If I miss some of the pickups around here, you'll just have to forgive me. There is a ton of these like smithing stone 2s and rune 2s and rune 3s and stuff all throughout this area, and it's hard to keep track of which ones I've already picked up versus which ones are still out there. Just because this area is so wide open. And of course there are, as I've said, tons and tons of crafting stuff down here. I think I got the rune next to, I think it was like next over here next to the ancestor spirit guy. Oh, no, it's on this rock. No, that's something else. Well, here's our Ash of War, which is definitely something that I don't want to miss. Okay. Trying not to fall off the cliff while I'm doing this. All right, got Ash of War square off. And so you see that sending gate directly ahead of us. I told you that one that was way further back. And the, oh, my Wi-Fi connection is lost. That's wonderful. The one that is, the one that was further back, towards the beginning of this area, that's where it warps you to. So yes, we got a couple more of the, these should be our last 2, I think, to activate. This one's guarded by rats. Okay. See that shiny? We're gonna get that in a bit. And there's a bunch of the snipers over here. Up on those rocks. Make getting over there a pain. I think this is the last one. I could be wrong. Yep, so power gathers somewhere in horned remains. So once you see that message, that's how you know you got all of them. I think the scarab that I'm hearing right now, that's just a crimson scarab. It's not for an Ash of War. Yep, there it is. Crimson scarab. Ugh, those snipers. There they are. So we're going to go across this bridge right here. Oh my gosh. For starters, we're going to go down here and follow this path through to the waterfall. I'm just kind of taking us through the main section. Once we get to the end of this section here, there's going to be a couple other things that we have to do. So down here, there's a rune arc. And again, I may have missed some of the smaller drops like the rune 2s and 3s and maybe a smithing stone 2 and 3. But the main stuff, like the rune arcs, the stone sword keys, the really important stuff, I'm making sure to pick up. The Ashes of War, Golden Seed, of course. But yeah, there's so many pickups scattered throughout this pretty wide open area that it's hard for me to know for sure that I've gotten like literally everything. So you can jump over here and get to that shiny that we saw just a minute ago. Don't drop down, that's death. To make this jump, you actually have to get your horse and do a double jump. Then I like to go back to on foot to go around because it's a very tight ledge. Hopefully those guys are done sniping me. This is a very tight ledge. Get a stone sword key over here. Back to where we just were. To make this jump, I like to be back on horseback. So make that jump. Perfect. Let's go back down to that land bridge. Head back over. And all the way at the end here, there is a another site of grace. But this part is tough because there are snipers. There's probably 3 of them. Yep. And man, they pack an enormous punch. Just oof. It's like a punch in the gut every time you get hit by those arrows. I don't know what. Oh man. Ugh. I'm gonna fight these on foot. Ow. This guy doesn't even have the arrows, and he's still. Well, it's because the rats are around him too. The rats are like, and they're hitting me hard enough to stun me, and then the other, then the ancestor guy is getting his hits in. Boy, yeah, this part is this section right here is probably the most challenging. And I've got this crimson scarab over here. I might as well use it now because I need the extra healing. Where is he? I know I spotted him before. He may have already ran away. Oh, geez. And while I'm looking for a scarab, I'm getting sniped. Yeah, look at the range these things have. Oof. There he is. I need you. Got 3 flasks back from that. Oh, man. Yes, come down here. Way easier to fight you. There's that guy over there trying to get me. And all while this is going on, there's loot on these cliffs. I want to say there's one more. Maybe not. Oh, did I miss that? There we go. Don't care as much about the rats. Not as much of an immediate threat. Okay. So I think that's it for the arrow guys. I think. All right, here's the site of grace. So this basically takes us to the end of this lower level. As I said, there's a couple of things we're gonna have to loop back and do. I think this increases, it's a talisman, increases focus, which helps with sleep and madness. So this is an elevator, requires 2 stone sword keys to activate. I mean, we picked up, I think, 2 stone sword keys in this area. We bought 3, so even with using the 2 here, we're at a net increase in our total stock. And so this lift is actually going to take us, you know, the lift that we came down was on the other side of the map. So this is actually going to take us up to a section in Caelid. And the only way you can get to this spot, this particular spot in Caelid that we're going, is by taking this lift. At least the only way that I know of. But I'm going to go on up because there is a grace that we can get up here, and there's another stone sword key, so... Now, the stone sword key just so happens to be guarded by a rune bear. So here we are in Caelid. This is where we popped up. Don't have this section of the map unlocked yet, but we're in kind of this kind of valley. And again, as far as I know, the only way to get down here, because I think if you drop from those cliffs up there, that's a death. The only way to get to this particular spot is to ride that elevator up. And then there's something. So there's the bear. I'm just gonna try to get the key and veil. Oh gosh. Okay, maybe not. Well, even if I die here, I'm right next to where I need to be, so it's not like I have to. It's not a long journey back to. Oh, didn't let me get it. Oh. All right. Homeboy does not want me to get my key. I'm just gonna drop down here. Oh, that was a death? Wow. I'm almost positive I've made that drop before. But anyway, that spot where I just fell is, remember when we several episodes ago where I took you where we got that sombering smithing stone 5, and I looked up and I showed you. Oh, this takes me all the way back here. So yeah, probably better to go back to the grace. That spot where I showed you where that somber stone 5 was when we upgraded our weapon to +5, and then I looked up and I showed you there's an item up there that you can't get to till later. Well, that's the item that we just got. I'm gonna see if I can get my runes back. If not the end of the world. I think it was like 6,000 of them. I'm not gonna be too distressed. All right, we made it. Let's see if I can rest here without the bear hitting me. There we go. Okay, so down there is something completely different. And we may or may not hit that up at the end of the episode. I'm not sure. So anyway, we're going to go down here. And what we want to do is closest to here. So we want to go up this thing because there is a warp gate. And this warp gate actually takes us to somewhere that we can only get via that warp gate. So the first warp gate that we saw took us to a spot that just took us further down this path. This warp gate that we're about to get to takes us to a unique spot that can only be reached from taking this warp gate that we're about to take. And the way to get to the warp gate is you got to go up this column with this sniper here. Trying to... Oh, jeez. I'm gonna have to probably take a shot from one of these arrows. Maybe... Okay, we got fine. I don't even need to mess with them. I'm just gonna go up here to the warp gate. Okay, so this will take us... This takes us to another spot in this same kind of level, but it's just up on a cliff that you can't get to any other way. And there's actually quite a bit of stuff up here. I'm going to try to mark it off as best I can. It's kind of obscure where some of this stuff is. I think there's something back here. Where's the one at? I don't need this anymore. So there's something back here, I believe. There's some stuff around here. Stuff in here. So we'll just kind of go off that for now. And so down there is where we just were. So we got warped up here on this cliff. Which, as I said, the only way up on this cliff is to use that that warp spot. Golden Rune 7. Like, we're getting some good stuff up here. I think if you go this way, you can drop here. Remember where we got that golden seed and the stone sword key? So we could drop down there from here, but then we won't be able to get back up. Okay, we'll go in here next. Actually, I just want to check to make sure there's nothing on this side first. Yeah, there is a item over here. Okay. Now if we think you can cut through here. In here is a scarab. A bunch of enemies. We get the Great Oracular Bubble spell. And a Somber 5. I think that's just a Crimson, just for flasks, not for an Ash of War or anything of that sort. Another Golden 7. Yeah, definitely worth coming up here. And then the big thing up here that we're about to do is there is a mini boss. And the mini boss is a more difficult version of the main boss from the last underground area. So, fair warning. I am missing one red flask, so I'm going to go ahead and get this thing to get it back. So over there, you see him. It's a big dragon of Noxtella, I think they're called. And it is a more difficult version of it if you're fighting him on foot. I much prefer to fight this one on horseback. A, because you can, and B, because I think it is much easier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pop my flask. I'm going to go ahead and summon my wolves and get my FP back. And then I'm going to fight this guy on horseback. The wolves should take the brunt of his aggro. And then I should just be able to kind of hang by his legs and just spam R1. And this is, believe it or not, way easier than fighting him on foot. Because he hits like a truck. He hits way harder here than he did in his boss, his main boss form in the first underground level. Got one wolf left, but he's almost dead. Okay, yeah, he's gonna die because I stunned him. There he goes. So, I would recommend fighting him on horseback. Summon your spirit ashes, and get the dragon halberd. Pretty solid weapon, and we get a talisman, Marika's Scar Seal. So we have the Radagon's Scar Seal equipped. And so now we have Marika's Scar Seal. So Radagon's Scar Seal and Marika's Scar Seal are kind of opposite of each other. These increase your vigor, endurance, strength, and dex. This one increases your mind, intelligence, faith, and arcane. So this is more like melee based. This is more sorcery based, at least as far as the buffs that it gives you. Which, in terms of the lore, Marika and Radagon, I mean, they were married to each other, but they are like the linchpins of the whole thing. And that's all I'm going to say for now. Let's see. I think that's it for up here. Yeah, I think that's it. I think I've covered it all that can be covered here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to warp here, and we're going to fight the boss. And this boss is not too bad. If you made it this far, you should be able to get the boss relatively easily. So since we unlocked all of those torches that we lit back there, this is glowing now. If you hadn't gotten all those torches, this would not be glowing, and you wouldn't be able to touch it to warp. So in here we have the Ancestor Spirit, and this is a boss that is required for a trophy. So if you're going for all achievements, do not skip out on this boss. It is an optional boss, but one that gives you a trophy. It does have a donkey kick that I need to watch out for. I mean, if I get hit by stuff, this stuff doesn't hit me very hard, so I'm not really all that worried about even taking some hits. I might be a little bit sloppy in this fight. We'll see. You see how much damage we do to him, though. Which is funny, because this area is fairly difficult, but this boss, the boss difficulty does not reflect difficulty of what we just went through to get here. Yeah, that big slam where he puts his front hooves down. Just make sure you dodge that. And of course, if you get behind him, he's going to do the donkey kick. But this music, this is one of my favorite bits on the OST. Very, very, very well done. Very atmospheric. I like it a lot. Okay, so for that, we got Ancestral Follower Ashes, and we got the Ancestor Spirit Trophy. Good stuff. So once you beat the boss, you can use this to exit. Takes us back out here. So that's all that I'm going to do in this spot. I'm actually going to warp here to this grace we unlocked in Caelid, because there is kind of like a little, I mean, not even a side quest. It's for a talisman. Little thing you can do. It doesn't take very long. In order to do it, you have to fight 3 relatively challenging invaders, and you have to kill all 3 of them in a row. Otherwise, you can't get it. So I'm going to give this one honest try, because this is normally something that I would do later on in the game when I go to Caelid, but since I'm right here now, I just feel like, I'll give it a shot. We'll see how it goes. Let's see. Yeah, I'll leave that one bigger. Level 62. Not bad at all. So I'll give this a shot, and if it doesn't work, actually, since I've got 13,000 runes on the line, that's more than I would like to have at risk. So I need, for my next level, I need about 10,000 more. We picked up a bunch of runes in this place, so. Just use 12 of these. See how many that gives me? 14,000. Okay, so I'm still gonna have some on the line. That's totally fine with me, but I just didn't want like 14,000. I'll put this one into strength. 4,000 I can live with. If I lose. And if I lose, I'm going to put a skull icon on the map, and we're going to come back later. I'm going to give this one legit shot. These invaders are pretty tough. And of course, on the way, you have 2 giant archer golems, so... Oh, come on. He fell so awkwardly. Can I hit his spot? Dang it. I hate fighting these things on like rocky, craggy areas, because then they end up falling in a spot where you can't even hit. Alright, got him. And got the spiked Palisade shield. the other archer. Hopefully I can get to him before he fires. Nice. Fortunately, this one's not on rocks, so it's easier to hit his weak spot when he does fall down. Okay. So up here at this Coliseum, we've got a giant jar. And so you got to fight 3 invaders. You talk to him, you got to fight 3 invaders. And if you kill all 3 of them, he rewards you with a talisman. So you can see now the Knight of Great Jar's red summon sign. So we're just going to take these left to right. So you got 8 flasks and full everything. I'm going to pop a rune arc just to give me an extra boost here. And these guys are tough. So when they summon in, I like to get behind them so that way right when they spawn, I can start hitting them. Kind of cheap, but you know. It ain't against the rules. But these guys do hit hard. I like to let him charge in for this one, and then I'll do a Bloodhounds on him. He can't. This one has magic as well. See if we'll charge in. All right, that's the first one. And that one you really can punish by letting him charge in at you and then doing your special. This one that we fight, not so much. He's a heavy hitter. He doesn't like try to charge in and hit you quickly. But that first one that I fought, you can definitely punish with the Bloodhound's finesse when he runs at you. Okay. Now this one can parry you. She's got a buckler. But I don't think jump attacks can be parried. And she runs at you too, so you can also do a Bloodhound's finesse on her as well. But just be careful when she has her buckler out. She can parry you. Need to watch my HP here. Ooh, she is coming after me. Ah, she successfully... Oh! She can punish... Oh, she can parry the Bloodhounds. Wow. Okay. That was something. I didn't know that I didn't know that could be parried. Wow. Wow. Okay. As I said, I was gonna give that one legit shot. And we will definitely be doing this later. My runes are there, but I'm not going back for them. We're going to come back and do this later. So anyway, sorry to end that on a low note, but, you know, it is what it is. As I said, I normally do that later on in the game, but I was like, I'm here. I'll give it a shot. And, you know, it is what it is. Sometimes it happens. So I'm going to cut it. And thank you guys so much for watching. And I'll catch you all next time. Really appreciate y'all. And take care.